If managing your money feels like a second job you never applied for, here's the truth nobody sells. You are not failing your budget. Your budget has too many rules, and the fix is not discipline, it's deletion. Today I'm going to show you the research on why complicated money systems collapse, the industry that profits every time yours does, and at almost exactly the halfway mark, the short list of rules that actually survive contact with real life. 4 of them. People who run 4 rules end up richer than people who run 40, and by the end, you'll know exactly why and exactly which 4. My name is William, and I want to start with a study about JAM, because it explains more about your budget than any finance book you've been sold. In 2000, psychologist Sheena Iyengar set up a tasting table in a California grocery store. Some days it offered 24 jams, other days just 6. The big table drew more of a crowd, and almost nobody bought. Around 3% walked away with a jar. The small table converted 30%, 10 times the follow-through from cutting the options by 3/4. That result has been replicated across retirement plans, insurance choices, and investment menus. Past a modest threshold, every added option reduces the odds a person acts at all. Choice doesn't just tire you. Past a point, it freezes you. Now count your budget. 40 spending categories, 6 apps, 3 of them on subscriptions, a rule for coffee, a rule for takeout, a rule for the takeout that follows the coffee. Every single one of those is a jam on the table, and every day your money life asks you to choose again. Psychologists call the cost of that decision fatigue. Willpower runs down through the day like a battery, and every small money decision drains it. A budget with 40 rules makes hundreds of withdrawals from that battery every week. It's not that you're weak in the checkout line at 6 p.m. It's that the system spent your strength on category 17 before lunch. And before we go further, the absolution, because it's not decoration, it's diagnosis. If you've built 3 budgets and abandoned all 3 by March, you didn't fail 3 times. You built 3 systems designed for a person with unlimited attention, and no such person exists. The shame you feel about the abandoned spreadsheet is misplaced. The spreadsheet was the mistake. Here's who benefits from you believing otherwise. Complexity in personal finance is a business model. A financial advisor charging the standard 1% of assets per year sounds harmless, 1%. Run it out. On a portfolio growing at 7% for 30 years, that single percentage point consumes roughly 1/4 of your final wealth, 1/4 gone to fees, justified by complexity you were told you couldn't handle alone. The fund industry's own scorecard, S&P's SPIVA report, has shown for 2 decades that around 90% of actively managed funds failed to beat the plain market index over 15-year stretches. The expensive complexity loses to the cheap simplicity year after year, and the industry's answer is to add more products. Meanwhile, the budgeting app economy bills you monthly to track the money it's helping you lose the will to manage. Complexity isn't a service, it's a billing structure. The timing makes it worse, because 2026 is the most complicated year personal finance has ever had. The average American now juggles about a dozen paid subscriptions, 4 financial apps, and a credit card charging around 21%, while the Federal Reserve surveys still find nearly 4 in 10 adults unable to cover a $400 emergency in cash. All that tooling, that result. More rules are not the missing ingredient. Here's something you can do before this video ends. Count your money rules. Actually count. Every category, every app, every I'm supposed to. Most people land somewhere between 20 and 50. Hold your number. You'll need it in a few minutes.
2 quick portraits, 1 paragraph each. Camille runs the maximalist system. 42 categories, 3 apps, receipts photographed nightly. A color-coded spreadsheet she genuinely loves in January. By mid-February, she's 4 days behind on entries. By March, the backlog feels like homework. By April, the whole thing is abandoned, and the guilt spends more than she ever did. She's rebuilt it 3 times in 4 years. Same arc every time. It seemed thorough. It was quicksand. Frank, her uncle, runs 4 rules he set up in one afternoon 11 years ago. He couldn't tell you what he spent on groceries last month. His net worth crossed $400,000 this spring on a Park District salary. Camille manages money constantly, and it grows never. Frank manages money almost never, and it grows constantly. So here is the short list, the 4 rules that survive, and why these 4 and nothing else. Rule 1. Automate the split. The day your paycheck lands, money moves without your involvement. Enough into your 401k to capture the full employer match. That match is a guaranteed 100% return, the only one in finance, and leaving it unclaimed is refusing free salary. Then, an automatic transfer into a Roth IRA up to this year's limit of $7,500, where growth comes out tax-free in retirement. Then, whatever percentage you've chosen into a plain taxable account. One setting in your payroll portal, the split deposit, plus one recurring transfer, built once. This rule exists so that saving stops being a daily decision. Decisions fail, settings don't. Rule 2. Buy one thing. All routed money buys the same boring asset, a total market index fund with an expense ratio under 0.1%, the whole American economy in a single holding at a fee 20 times smaller than the product's complexity sells. This is the rule the SPIVA data writes for you. If 90% of professionals can't beat the index over 15 years, your job isn't to try, it's to own the index and go live your life. No picking, no timing, no watching. One fund, on a schedule, forever. Rule 3. Keep one cushion. 3 to 6 months of bare survival expenses in a high-yield savings account paying around 4%, not the 0.6 the average big bank account still pays, a gap worth about $340 a year on a $10,000 cushion. The cushion's real job isn't the interest, it's protecting Rule 2. The person with cash never has to sell investments in a bad month and never touches the 21% credit card. One account at a separate bank from your checking, so rating it takes effort. Rule 4. Carry no expensive debt. Anything above roughly 8%, which in practice means credit cards at 21, gets destroyed before serious investing begins. Highest rate first, minimums on the rest. Paying off a 21% card is a guaranteed 21% return. Nothing on any exchange reliably beats it. This is the only rule that's temporary. Once the expensive debt is gone, and Rule 1's automation keeps it gone, Rule 4 retires itself.
That's the entire system. 4 rules. And notice what they have in common. None of them requires a decision more than once a year. No categories, no tracking, no apps on subscription. You set the machine on a single afternoon, and your remaining money, everything the split doesn't route, is yours to spend on anything guilt-free. No line items, because the important part already happened before you touched it. A budget polices every dollar. These rules just make the first dollars unpoliceable. And if 4 rules on one card sounds too small to be serious, here's the real-world anchor. In 2013, Harold Pollack, a University of Chicago professor, not a finance guru, got challenged in an interview to prove that good financial advice could fit on an index card. He grabbed a 4x6 card off his desk, wrote 9 short rules on it in pen, and posted a photo. The card went viral, got translated around the world, and became a book. The rules on it are the same family you just heard. Max the retirement match, buy inexpensive index funds, save a fixed slice automatically, pay cards in full. Nothing has dethroned that card in 13 years because there was nothing missing to add. The best financial plan in America fits in a shirt pocket. Quick pause on the channel. Every week here, I take something the money world makes complicated and show you the small, true version underneath. If that's the kind of finance you want more of, subscribing is the vote that keeps it coming. And the comment I genuinely read from you today, the number you counted earlier, your rule count, post it next to the number 4. The gap between those two numbers is this whole video. Now, the objections, because 3 of them are good ones. First, isn't tracking everything the responsible thing to do? Tracking is a diagnostic, not a lifestyle. Track everything for 1 month, 60 days if your income swings, to learn your real survival number and find the subscription leaks. Then stop. A blood test is responsible. A daily blood test is a disorder. The data earns its keep once. The habit just bills you attention. Second, my income is irregular. I need more control, not less. Half true, and the carve-out matters. Variable income needs 1 extra rule, not 20. Route by percentage instead of fixed dollars. The split takes 15% of whatever lands, fat month or lean, and hold a bigger cushion, 6 months instead of 3. That's the entire adjustment. And if your income sits below your survival line, none of this is your assignment yet. Income is, and pretending a routing trick fixes an income gap is exactly the advice this channel exists not to give. Third, if it's this simple, why does almost nobody do it? Because simple and easy are different things. The 4 rules ask you to do nothing repeatedly for years. No tinkering, no reacting to headlines, no selling when the market drops 30% in a bad spring. Boredom is the fee simplicity charges. Most people would rather pay 1% to feel managed than 0% to feel bored, and a quarter of their final wealth is what the feeling costs. If your rule count from earlier was 30 and your stomach dropped somewhere in the last 5 minutes, good. Keep the sting. It arrived cheaper than Camille's version. Every rule past 4 isn't protection, it's surface area for failure.
Now, the payoff math, deliberately conservative at 7%. A 30-year-old who sets the machine, $500 a month, through the split into the index fund, crosses $1 million a little after 30 years, having made 0 investment decisions along the way. The same money handed to the 1% fee complexity industry arrives at roughly $750,000. The missing $250,000 is what professional management cost for underperforming a machine with no moving parts. Start at 40 instead of 30, and the finish line is smaller, around $450,000. But here's the part that matters if that's you. The 4 rules don't care when you install them, and the catch-up limits exist precisely for late starters, an extra $7,500 a year of 401k room after age 50. Later than you'd like, earlier than you fear. And a machine installed at 40 still beats a spreadsheet rebuilt annually forever. So, an ordinary Tuesday, and you want the system installed. 3 moves. 1. Run the diagnostic month. Track everything for 30 days, one time, to find your survival number and your leaks. Cancel what you find, then retire the tracking. 2. Build the machine in 1 sitting. Payroll portal, split deposit set, match confirmed, Roth transfer scheduled, cushion account opened at a separate bank. Write your 4 rules on an actual index card if you want the Pollock effect on your desk. 3. The piece I'm deliberately not fitting into this video. Which total market fund, how expense ratios actually compound against you, and what to do in the years the index drops and your nerve gets tested. That's the deep mechanics under Rule 2. The full breakdown is on this channel, and the machine you build tonight will be ready for it whenever you are. Last picture. Camille is rebuilding the spreadsheet again this spring. Version 5, new color scheme, same arc coming.
Frank hasn't opened a budget in 11 years. His 4 rules ran while he coached Little League, and the 400,000 grew nobody's permission. 2 people, same size paychecks, one difference you can now name. She manages money, and his money is managed by a machine he built in an afternoon. You don't need a better budget. You need fewer rules. 4 on a card running without you. The card fits in a shirt pocket. The afternoon is whichever one you pick, and the version of you 11 years from now is already standing on one side or the other of that choice.